And a wonderful good afternoon to all of you. Bob DiGiacomo of Intentional Growth Coaching and Destiny Road. And today I happen to realize, as we're on March the 2nd, that we have already just now finished 1/6 of the year. And at the conclusion of March, if my mathematics is correct, we will have finished 1/4 of the year. And obviously, as the months progress, the fractions progress until finally you get to 1/2 of the year. And then sooner or later, you realize, oh my gosh, it's December, and where has the year gone? So yes, we're 1/6 of the year gone, working into the next third, and resolutions were made back in at the end of December. Resolutions were made, and usually resolutions last a couple of weeks into January, but for the sake of convenience, I've given you February to also propel those resolutions together. But every once in a while, it's important to take your foot off the accelerator, if your foot indeed is on the accelerator. The way I used to describe this in one of the coaching sessions that I used to do with a bunch of people, and it was done virtually. Interestingly enough, we were doing it virtually before virtually had to be done virtually. What a thought that is. But the way I used to describe it is that there are times you're going to be on the highway zinging down, and there will be times that you need to pull off the highway and perhaps get on the country road. Slow down, take it easy, take it a little easier, looking at the sights as you go by, enjoying what's going on. And then there are other times that you just need to pull into a rest stop and take a break, because you've been zinging down the highway so fast that you've lost track of what you're doing, which reminds me of some other things. And again, I've been around for over 2 centuries now, so I can relate back to the day when things were somewhat different than they are today. And as we look forward into the future, people are going to be looking back and saying, hey, I've been around 2 centuries, and I can look back and refer back to the day when things were different than they are today. Where am I going with that? Well, as I recall, before GPSs came out, now some of you may remember, you used to have these Garmin's or other devices. They would plug into your cigarette lighter or however you had them wired, and they would sit on the dashboard. And every once in a while, they would update themselves with the current maps, and you would tell it where you wanted to go. Some of you even perhaps paid some extra money to have that come as an option in your car or your truck. And what would definitely be the case is it would kind of tell you the route you needed to go. Challenge was the maps were not always 100% correct. I'll be right back. So for those of you that were hanging with me, the doorbell just rang. I had to get up and answer it because that's what you do when the doorbell rings. And it was somebody that was advertising. They're going around the neighborhood canvassing about solar panels, interestingly enough. And that sort of fits in with what I was talking about previously. So if you're not watching both of my broadcasts that I'll post together, you'll kind of wonder, what the heck is he talking about? No, they were here talking about solar panels. We're in a day of change. There's no two ways about it. But speaking about change, yes, some of you had these Garmin's that you would use to guide your path. Now, most men, until they caught on to the Garmin's, didn't use these devices. And their co-pilot sitting in the seat next to them, and I'm not being sexist, I don't want to come across as sexist, but their co-pilot sitting in the seat next to them, aka their wife, their girlfriend, whoever, would basically say, well, dear honey, don't you think you should pull over and get directions? And of course, a true man with a full tank of gas knows that he can go on and on and on and find the thing he's looking for. He doesn't need a GPS. He doesn't need a map. He's got a full tank of gas. But today we've evolved even further, where you've got your intelligent devices that you have, iPhones and Androids, and of course now you've got a whole series of devices to hold them onto the dashboard, and you use their mapping system, which by and large is far more accurate than the Garmin's were. But still, there are times where, because you've done something, you'll hear this message about recalibrating or redirecting or whatever, because you didn't follow the directions that were given to you, or perhaps you missed the turn because you might have been listening to the car radio at the same time, and you missed the voice that came and said, turn right here. Now, for those of you that have one of these, your electronic device is connected to it, and so it goes and lets you know that something is about to happen, and pay attention so you don't miss the turn. But where am I going with this? 1/6 of the year has already gone by. Are you that guy with the full tank of gas and you just can continue on and on until your tank runs out and you'll eventually find where you're going? Are you the person who has the co-pilot sitting in the seat next to you and you're not listening to that individual when they're saying, but don't you think you should pull over and get directions? You used to be able to stop and go into a gas station and get directions. That was one of the things we did back in the day when I was running a gas station. We were there to give instructions. 4 blocks that way, go 2 miles up the road, take the third light on and make a left, whatever it was, to help people get where they needed to go. Today we're really, really self-contained. Self-contained. In fact, we've put walls up. Speaking of walls, I did a great podcast about walls. So if you haven't been to Bermuda Bob Leadership or Intentional Growth coaching on iTunes, you're not going to find those podcasts, but I would urge you to do so. And certainly you go to my YouTube channel, which is under Robert DiGiacomo. Now, you're probably seeing in the screen at the top, I've put a few things up there. Reach out to me at intentionalgrowth@icloud.com by email. Or if you want to talk further about how my programs can help you or your organization, you can get me at Advisory Cloud, or you can go to my LinkedIn. I've put all the stuff there. Now, those are like the directional finders, your Garmin or your iPhone, and your co-pilot in the seat next to you saying, hey, don't you think you should pull over and get some directions? If you're zinging down the highway with your foot slammed on that gas pedal and stuff is just going by, you will be one of those people who says in December, oh my gosh, where did the year go? So that's my message for today. Remember, with regard to Destiny Road, the road to your destiny is right there in front of you. But there will be times you're going to take all sorts of different curves and whatnot and get off track. And you'll hear that voice saying, recalculating, recalculating, as opposed to, you ding dong, you should have taken that turn. They're a little bit more polite in that regard. So as I say, that's the message for today. You're either zinging down the highway, take a pause, get on the country roads, slow things down a little bit, or get in the rest area and recalculate and figure out where you need to go to get where it is that you're going. Because I'm sure that you made some resolutions to start this year off. And hey, wouldn't it be great if you could check them off as accomplished? Until next time, Bob DiGiacomo, Intentional Growth Coaching, and Destiny Road. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.